Hey guys, welcome back to Ken Cinema Sofa. I'm your brother Ken, if it's your first time here, and I'm a missionary, and I've been stationed here in Japan for the past 12 years as a Bible teacher and preacher. But this channel is all about me indulging in my only true guilty pleasure, awesome cinema. So tonight, we're going to continue with The Batman, and I just want to let you know, like I did folks from the first part, I have seen this movie. I've seen this movie, and I love this movie, and that's why I'm here talking about it. I'm sure that some of you that are watching this also are here because you've seen it already, but you just want to get more of it. You want to hear it being broken down. I'm here offering my humble opinions about it. I was a lifelong fan of the Batman, and my first comic book, actually, from 1984, I think, 1986, was a Batman comic. And I talked about some of that in the previous part of this two-part Batman movie reaction. So if you want to hear what I talked about in regards to the comic, go check out the first video, part 1. But for now, we're going to dive right back in. We're not going to waste any time except to let you know what I'm snacking on and drinking tonight. This is called Lemon Hachimitsu Water. Lemon Hachimitsu. Hachimitsu. That is honey in Japanese. So yeah, this is honey and lemon flavored water. I don't know if you guys have that back in the States. They're super healthy in Japan. Most times that's a benefit to me. Sometimes it's, well, moving on. And then, you know, we got to take it back home a little bit. Pringles. Sour cream. You didn't come here to learn Japanese, right? I feel you. Let's go. The Batman Part 2. Let's get it. Okay, so he's waking up now. Who cares? I want to see his face.
Coulson's blood is on his hands.
Maybe it's on yours.
Oh.
What'd you say?
You'd rather die than talk. What was she afraid of?
What's up with this guy? This thing is so funny that they went to grab for the bat view. It's like a toddler, man.
You're gonna put yourself on the line for this scumbag, Jim?
Just give me a minute.
What, I was gonna say before, what is up with this police officer's voice? I'm sure I know people talk like that, but I don't know. It just sounds very nasally. I wonder if the actor is doing that on purpose. Is he in character? Is he a method actor? I don't know.
We gotta get you out of here. A lot of heat on you. Oh, you punched me in the face.
This had me cracking up in the movie theater. But you know, in the Japanese theaters, you can't laugh. I'm serious. Like, they will get really angry.
Who's the mustache with the broken nose? He's one of the guys I got into it with at the Iceberg Lounge. He's saying Kinsey moonlights for the penguin.
That, I didn't, look, I had to break the Japanese etiquette laws. I cracked up in the theater when he did that. They started talking about something else, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, he just cracks him. I love that. Some people had a problem with that, but I like that. It's year 2. It's not natural to just jump off of a skyscraper.
It's a drug lab. Drugs. This is a buy.
Looks like they got Maroney's operation up and running again.
It's just got complicated.
What do you mean?
Dangerous crowd you're stealing from.
Jesus. I'd love to sit and go over every gory detail with you, that boy. But, those assholes are coming back.
Oh, man. I remember that. But you know, like, the comic book Batman, the issue, one of them I have upstairs, is he's looking for an axe murderer who murdered a woman. He's trying to find him, that serial killer. I mean, these were what the stories were like originally. And the Superman team-ups, I mean, that was, they happened, but they were rare.
Hey, Vincent! You think you can come after my money, huh?
Uh-oh. Here we go. Look at that. It's like a monster. Seriously. Even Gordon is like, what in the world? You see the way the fire came on, it almost looks like a dragon breathing. In the 1970s comics of Batman, he actually did live in Wayne Tower while the mansion was being remodeled or whatever. And his car looked like this. You don't put Colin Farrell in a film not to go crazy. Oh. I love that they shift the view to see Batman looking like, what's up? What's up? Look at that car, man. And it looks like something he's built himself. And this is what I love about this film as opposed to the Nolan films, which seriously though, in those films they kind of cheated, okay, by having Lucius Fox make everything, and it kind of took away from Bruce's intellect, his kind of ambitious character. But in this movie, he makes everything. I love that. You know what? Penguin is not bad either as a driver. I never noticed that in the theater. It's closing in. Woo.
I got you! I got you! Take that, you freaking psycho! I got you!
I can imagine the director just let Colin Farrell off the leash. It's like, do your thing, man. Be Colin Farrell.
You will rada.
Like the word Spanish I have heard.
What?
It's La Rata. What is this, Riddler, stupid or something? World's greatest detectives! Am I the only one here knows the difference between L and La?
But also the creation of the Gotham Renewal Fund. The Wayne Foundation pledges a $1 billion donation to start.
Wow, $1 billion. For the
Sins of the Father.
Renewal is about growth. It is about planting seeds.
wow.
Shall be visited upon the Son. Jesus, his next victim is Bruce Wayne.
Oh, that's the first time he's done that.
Hey.
Batman usually disappears while Gordon is talking.
Hello?
Gory! I need to speak to Alfred.
Oh man. See you in hell. Man. He is angry, man. So hopefully this is getting him to reassess his relationships with people, the importance of being Bruce Wayne. This is when the real detective is coming out. And if you think about it, like, this makes sense for him to be a detective, because if you're fighting a never-ending battle of crime and corruption in the city, most of your work is going to be detective work. And then some nights out of the week, you might actually have to, get into some fisticuffs, right? So this is the Batman that I grew up with. I like the scenes where he's staring out at the daylight, the sunset or sunrise. I feel like you're seeing more of that in the movie as he's coming closer to the light and out of the darkness. I don't know if that's too artsy-fartsy, but that's just how I feel.
20 years ago, one reporter set out to uncover the dark truth. How Martha herself was in and out of institutions for years, and they didn't want anyone to know.
You know who I am? You're Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
See?
Like, wow, look, it's Bruce Wayne. Man, come on in. I think he's starting to see the benefits of being Bruce Wayne. Even as he's learning these terrible things about, supposed terrible things about his family, he's starting to learn the benefits, the complexities of living as Bruce Wayne.
Your father wanted me to handle it, so I did. I handled it. You thought your father was a boy.
What is it like to hear something like that about your dad?
But even a good man like him is capable of in the right situation.
He cared about her and you. And in a moment of weakness, he turned to Falcone. But he never thought Falcone would kill that man.
I like the realism here. I like that they didn't just say, Father just didn't do that. It's all a lie. I like that it's showing that, yeah, he made some mistakes. In the middle of that darkness, there's still some light and some reasonable good man. That is human nature. We wrestle with darkness. We're tainted with it. This is what I believe as a Christian.
Close to somebody I care about.
That's good. Give him that. Let him have that. And she's like robotic in her calculation. Let's do it.
Can you tell Mr. Falcone I'd like to come up?
Me and Shin Nobly tonight.
Tell him it's about Annika.
Ooh. This is the third time. I feel almost like he's learning how to be the Batman that we know later on. Like everything doesn't take, you know, like 2 fists in the face.
She's been gone so long, I'm beginning to... I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I understand. Yeah.
No, that's okay. I have a tissue.
Uh-oh.
Vinny! Didn't I tell you?
Sorry, Mr. Falcone. I really think you're gonna want to see this.
Hey, Dad.
What?
I'm Maria Kyle's kid.
What a creative sequence. Wow. So I guess in this one, his whole suit is bulletproof? Man. You're gonna kill your daughter, man.
You made me do this. Just like your mother.
See, before the woke stuff and what people classify as woke and all of that, the Batman stories tackled things like this. Let's not forget, it debuted in Detective Comics. Sometimes he would be tussling with the Joker, human traffickers, different things, different stories. That's what made it so awesome, you know, and so engrossing to keep reading these Detective Comics.
Man, you think you're gonna scare me with that mask and that cap? I'm gonna start crying, and all of a sudden, whatever I've done, it's all going with me to my grave, where you would Zorro over here.
Oh, man.
What are you doing? Where's the man? I didn't shoot! I didn't shoot!
This was so interesting in the theater. When I first saw this, he just looks like such a normal guy. Until I saw this. Yeah. There's something wrong with this guy. I thought, like, some versions of him, many versions, his name is Edward Nigma, or Enigma.
I've been invisible my whole life. I guess I won't be anymore, will I? They'll remember me now. They'll remember both of us. Bruce. Wayne.
They call it micro acting. I love that. He looks so uncomfortable, but trying to maintain a front of strength.
You know, I was there that day. The day the great Thomas Wayne announced he was running for mayor, made all those promises. Well, a week later, he was dead, and everybody just forgot about us. Being in some tower over the park isn't being an orphan. There's 30 kids to a room.
Paul Dano.
12 years old and already a drop-in, numbing the pain.
12 years old.
You wake up screaming with rats, chewing your fingers.
Ah.
And every winter, one of the babies die because it's so cold.
That is...
But
it's terrible.
Bruce Wayne. It's evil. And on the big night.
Oh, wow. So okay, so now the movie has suddenly changed. So before, the Riddler was only targeting people that he felt were, you know, guilty and corrupt. Now he's just attacking the whole city. And so the only thing I can think of is that he now considers the whole city just not capable of being saved. Since the people of Gotham have allowed this corruption to go on and on, he sees them as being complicit in it. That's classic Batman. My dad said he loves this part, and I hadn't seen it in a while, so I couldn't remember this so well. This is the only time I'm questioning having a kid. This is the first time we've actually seen him really use many gadgets, and besides the grappling gun.
Who the hell are you?
I'm vengeance.
That is like a punch to the gut, right? Now's the time, man. Step up. You can be more than vengeance. Is that the same boy? That's not the mayor's son, is it? I know it's probably not. It's just, it looked like him for a moment.
I have to become more. People need hope.
Oh, I love that. She didn't want to let go of him. Wow.
He can give us the power to endure.
See, I like the plan that they have for these movies because it takes years to accomplish what he's just talking about. Dark Knight series, though I love it, I really do, but he did all of that. What? He was Batman for about 1.5 years. I said that in the last video.
Gotham loves a comeback story.
We know who this is. It's the Joker. It's the Joker. I've seen the deleted scene already, so.
The less of them you have, the more one is worth. A friend.
So he just gave him a little riddle, man.
Listen.
I'm trying to see what he looks like without that collar. I'm not a fan of the collar. I'm sorry. Man, that is early in the day, ain't it?
You're already spoken for.
Should let this guy chill for a bit. So guys, thank you for joining me for The Batman. I'm upstairs on my other cinema sofa. I ran out of battery power downstairs, so I had to hurry up and find the adapter and make a new video that collects some of my thoughts. As you may have inferred from my many reactions in this series, part 1 and part 2, I love this film. I love The Batman. Like I said, it's just like what I grew up with reading back in America. The Batman comics I had, Detective Comics, Batman. I heard that Matt Reeves referred to this movie as a super noir. I don't know what he meant by that. Did he mean that it was a noir that had superhero characters, or like noir dialed up to 100, you know? But anyway, that he meant it. It was just great. I think that this was a great detective story, even if Batman was not in it. I think that just it was a good story, a good detective story. Covered the underbelly of a city and the way crime works. This is the missionary side of me thinking. The Bible teaches that we live in a fallen world and that humans, no matter how much we try to make the most of our potential, we will always, in the end, be tainted because we are separated from the source of goodness, which is God, the Creator. That is very theological, and it's not a religious film, but corruption in a city is one of the symptoms of this human nature problem. So, I like the way that even with Bruce Wayne's father, how it pretty much illustrated that point. He was a good man, and if you compare him, put him on the scales of other men in the earth or other men and women in the world, and you compare him to them, he comes off as a good man because he's being compared with the lowest common denominator of humanity. But because he is still on the same scales as them, meaning he's still from down here on the earth in this world, he's going to have some dark spots in him. He's going to have some fallibility. I like that they didn't gloss over that and just erase it and, Alfred be like, oh, that's totally a lie, everything that Maroney said. No, I like that they showed that, yeah, he made some mistakes. But overall, there is redemption, and I think that fits well for Bruce as well. He was, getting dangerously close to turning into what he's been fighting. Back to the comic booky stuff. Love the Batmobile. I love that everything, including the Batmobile, was scaled down technologically, Yeah, as I said, the 1970s Batman comic books, he moved to Wayne Tower in the center of the city to try to get closer to the crime that he's battling. I do believe, as I said before, yeah, his car, or at least one of them, it just looks like a souped up muscle car. This one here. I love the ambience of the film. I love the cinematography. I don't know who the cinematographer is, but there was so much rain, but just there was so much, the lighting picked up so many details, even in the darkness. He was in the rain and he was standing in front of the club where the twins came. You could see the gleam and the shine of all the street lights on his mask, highlighting all the scars and scratches and nicks from how many knife attacks he survived, on that suit, and I just thought that really captured that feel of the Batman comics that I grew up with. So before, in the first part of my Batman reaction, I showed you one of the comic books I had, my first comic. This is another one. This story is about a serial killer that targets a woman who, spurned him. He was in love with her and she said no, and little did she know that he was an axe murderer, a serial killer. And so Batman is on the trail looking for this guy. What he does is he beheads people. He uses some kind of like those the same chemical mixture that the headhunters in Papua New Guinea. I think that's where it is. They use to shrink the heads. So Batman is analyzing the chemicals from this head, But, that's the detective essence of the original comics. And I love what DC says here, right? What does that say? DC comics aren't just for kids. So I thought Matt Reeves did an amazing job. And I kind of expected this to come from him. When I heard that Matt Reeves was the one that signed on to do this, I knew this was going to be a gritty, very deep and, rich story. Because I saw his American adaptation of Let the Right One In, the originally Swedish vampire film about a little girl, who befriends a Swedish boy in a small town. I saw both of them. The original was great, and then Matt Reeves did the American remake, and that was great, So when I saw that he signed on to direct Batman, I was like, oh no. I should have known it was going to be like these comics. But we may, actually watch Let the Right One In on this channel. I've seen it already, as you know. I've seen it already, but, I want to start doing some commentary. So everybody, I hope that you enjoyed my reaction. I'm trying to be as eloquent as possible. I'm very relaxed in my sofa upstairs. I go to shoot my reactions on the sofa downstairs, which is comfy, but it's more, it's a studio. It's an atelier downstairs, so it's about business, making creative things. Up here is the place where I come to relax and dream about my trips in the Sahara Desert. Anyway, so I'm getting a little crazy now because it's late here in Japan and I'm tired, and come back for more. We're going to be watching the TV series Midnight Mass. I've started that. I do have a Patreon now. I don't have many subscribers, but I just made a Patreon because I can't show the full-length reactions on YouTube. So if you want to check out those full-length reactions, head on over to the link down below in the description, and you'll find my Patreon. And not only will you be able to watch full-length reactions, but you'll have access to some of my theological books that I've written myself and illustrated myself. You'll have access to some of the art and illustration that goes with those books as well. I'm always upgrading that. I'm gonna have film reactions and art illustrations. I have an oil painting series coming up in the summer that I'm going to start. So with Patreon, you'll get access to those as well. Prints, I mean. So yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a good night. Have a good morning wherever you are. A good day. And God bless you.